was Earth Day on the 22nd of April, and Boowan Nicole had asked me if I'd like to be involved in their challenge, so I've printed out some stuff. Now, they're running this through till June the 21st, and 2004, obviously, and this is their challenge. I'll put you a link to all this information down below in the video description, of course. Now, what they're going to do, they're hoping to, through this project, they're aiming to donate 10,000 trees in just 2 months. And they're going to add some extra ones too. So any eco-conscious customers, as they say, can join in with this. And this is what you can do. There's 2 different things, actually. Visit the website. You get badges for it as well. For every order over $1, they're going to fund the planting of a mangrove tree in Madagascar. That's incredible. Mangrove trees get huge and they have these big crazy roots. They're incredible things. And also they're putting in something towards the shipping as well, to allocate money from every order to help with the carbon neutral nature of the shipping. So, doesn't that sound amazing? Now, anybody who fancies joining in by adding a video to the whole shooting match, here we go. Record your eco-friendly crafts and share them with us by giving them that hashtag. And that's where you can follow them as well. So, let's put you the links to all that below and let's make some stuff. Now, I have got some of the Boowan Nicole moulds. They do their own eco-casting compound powder stuff called Boowanite. Now, those of you who like the 2-part type mixtures, I can recommend it. It's very, very good. Personally, I prefer the water-based ones, so that is what I will be using today. And so this is Eco-Pour, which you just mix with water. Okay, so whichever you prefer, that's the way to go. Because I find I get very, very good results with both. So, as I say, I just find Eco-Pour easier. And people have said, what brand of Eco-Pour do you use? Well, I use Eco-Pour. Eco-Pour is a brand. So for anybody who's not sure, I'll put you the link on for that below as well. And also they are shipping worldwide nowadays. Well, they have been shipping worldwide for a while. It's just that they've got a flat rate for shipping to the US and places like that. So you can get this stuff all over the place too. But as I said, if you prefer the 2-parters, Boowanite is wonderful stuff. Now the other thing I've got, and this has just arrived from Just For You Online, is these gorgeous colours. Look at these. And I thought, these are natural earth colours. They call them neutrals, but actually, I think those are fabulous colours for earth-themed projects. So, in view of the nature of... and of course, they're eco-friendly. All of this is. So, in view of the nature of this challenge for doing everything sort of eco, here we are. Let's do it. Now, I need some pots for my bathroom. Mark's recently redecorated. So I am looking at doing some pots in nice colours. This is a pebble pot from Boowan Nicole. And it's just like this really lovely shape. You'll see what I mean when it's finished. So watch this space. And I'm going to use some of these colours in it, which I think you will really like. I've got a little whisk. So everything here is eco. My bowl is reusable. That's obviously reusable. This is a silicone whisk. That's reusable. Silicone mat, reusable. Mould, reusable. I even wash the pots out and use them to keep beads in. If I ever get, at least I will if I ever get to the bottom of one of these. They're so intense, it goes for miles. Right, the first thing I want to do is this green. I just love this green. So let's get the lid off and have a look. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. So, yes, green first. I think what I'm going to do is do a row of colours that all coordinate. So bathroom's grey, so I want a bit of colour, but I don't want to go too much colour. I did wonder about putting bright yellow or orange with it. Now I'm mixing up tons here. This is going to be way too much, I know, but I've got plenty of other moulds to hand that I can chuck this in, because I'm getting quite a collection of Boowan Nicole's moulds. So links for everything, as I said, down in the video description below for the moulds, the colours, the Eco-Pour. If you want, I'll put the code for the bowl too. The link for the bowl. Now I do have discount codes for you for the moulds and for these colours and for the Eco-Pour. So I'll put those down in the description below for you. As you can see, it's one of the thicker ones of these type of powders. It does mix up really nice and thick, and I'm finding that using a whisk to stir it, and you can go quite quickly at first and then slow down so that the bubbles dissipate. And in one of these little tin bowls or a silicone bowl or whatever works a treat. Now, our colours. This is, as you can see, the first time I've used these. Oh, this is lovely. Now, I'm expecting to not need to use too much colour because, like I said, there's a lot of pigment in this stuff. And I could leave it marbled, but I think on this occasion I want something a bit more solid. Okay, we'll have a little bit more pigment than that. That's a bit too pale. I'm trying to get just the right colour to go to do what I want in my bathroom. They do some really intense bright colours as well, which I'm sure you'll have seen in my other videos. That's subtle, isn't it? I think I'll go a little bit more. Obviously you can get to a point where you've put too much and the Eco Pour won't cure, but it's something like 3%, which is an awful lot. So we're not going to get anywhere near that, are we? That's nice. I think that's about what I want. So I'm going to make sure it's all stirred up, get right into the bottom because I don't want white bits. Now I'm hoping that'll be fairly even. I mean, I usually go for marbling and stuff, so I'm not terribly good at getting these things nice and even. This is a gorgeous colour. This is what I wanted. Very subtle. Now what we tend to do is pour it part way up and give it a bit of a tap. Now some of the Boowan Nicole's moulds have got like a shape former to go around it to stop the sides sagging. I think this one has actually, but I haven't bothered this time because I want to see how much difference it makes. Just trying to make sure I don't have any bubbles around the bottom. Of course we can do a bit of squishing and squeezing like that to make sure, and in we go with the rest. And with this stuff you can afford to pour it from a bit of a height. It knocks the bubbles out as it goes, so it's a bit the opposite of what resin does. Now look, I judged that about right, didn't I? That's cool. Okay. I shall know for the next one. Actually, if anything, I'm a little bit short. I'm in typical. I was hoping, if anything, I'd have a bit too much. Right, I'm just going to mix up a tiny smidge more and then we will let it cure. You can demould this in, I don't know, half an hour or so, but I tend to leave it for more like an hour just to make sure that it's nice and strong before I get it out. And then, of course, it'll reach full strength in probably a day, 2 days, something like that. So just be a little bit gentle with them at first because it will have that tiny bit of brittleness to it initially. So I tend to just pull them out and let them air. And also you want to let them air before you go putting the sealant on them because you want to let the air out, don't you? Make sure you've lost all of the moisture that was in there. And you know, the same goes for all of your Eco Pour, Jesmonite, what else is the Magic Pour, Aquacast. I'll get through all the names in a minute. There's lots of these type of eco alternatives out there at the moment, and they are all really good. But yeah, I think it's the same with all of them. They don't reach their full strength until like a day or two later, and you might have some moisture in there still. So you want to let that completely dissipate before you go sealing it or risk testing how strong it is. It should tell you on your product instructions anyway, because they do vary a little bit. Right, I'm off to wash this bowl out. I will see you in an hour. Like I said, I will leave it an hour just to make sure we're all clear. I'm going to have a poke round in the rim of this as well to make sure we've got no bubbles under there. Okay, here comes the first lot. I stuck my finger in it, I'm afraid. Yeah. So, there we are. So yes, there's a bit of a mark on the back. But oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? That is near perfection. The colour. That is so subtle. Right, let's hope the pot's done as well. It's looking good. What I was after is it's like a stone effect. I want it to look quite natural and earthy. So let's see what we've got. Yes. And that will even out more as it dries as well, because that's just a little bit of moisture in it. Lovely. Look at the shape of that pot. Isn't that adorable? You see why they're called pebble pots? So, nice. Can leave that one to air out. and then we will put some sealant on it. I do like it when you can turn a mould completely inside out for demoulding and for cleaning. It makes life so much easier. The silicone that Boowan Nicole used, by the way, this is all eco stuff as well. It's actually food safe too. And the Eco Pour, the people at Just For You Online, where I get that from, they also participate in planting tree projects. It's also eco-friendly, it's even vegan-friendly. And yeah, so this is all about as eco as this sort of crafting can get, really. Right, next one then. What colour shall we do next? Right, let's try this terracotta one. I'm quite intrigued by this. It's very dark, so I'm thinking I'm probably not going to need much to get terracotta. Am I? Ooh, that's looking nice. I've also mixed it quite thick. I'm going to just put a little tiny dot more water just to make sure it all flows okay. It is a thick mixture. Oh yeah, I'll take a little bit more, won't it? It is a thick mixture once it's mixed up. It is 3 grams of water to 10 grams of the powder. So you do get quite a thick mix. Now I've just put a tiny dot more water. If you're not marbling, you can get away with a little bit more water if you want it to flow a bit more. Right, that's quite a lot of pigment, so I'm hoping for quite a nice rich terracotta colour. Sort of sun faded, but still quite rich. Actually, that's still thick enough to marble, isn't it? So that's not what I want to do this time. We'll save marbling again for another time. So going all around the edges, trying to make sure I get all of the white in. That's why I don't tend to mix up in little pots anymore. That's nice, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? And it's yeah, this is a tip I've picked up from Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner. This is actually one of those little mini whisks that I think is meant for frothing up coffee and things like that. Okay, so eventually I've got that nice rich terracotta colour that I wanted. Let's get this into our little mould. And again, I'm going to fill it part way up and give it a good tap. Hope I've got enough for both parts now. Should have. All close. Give it a good squish around and a tap. Wondering whether I should really have put the frame around these moulds, but to be honest, because it's the shape it is, I think it's perfectly okay without the frame. The frame makes things a little bit easier, maybe. Yeah, the plastic shape, yeah, frame that keeps them in shape. Gonna need a little bit more. Right, I'm just gonna mix up a bit more then. Now, because I haven't got the frame on this mould, I can do a bit of this. I can squish from the, I'm squashing with my fingers on the inside at the bottom. And I think that is helping to lift any bubbles that might be stuck around that edge. Let's just put a little bit more in. Doesn't self-level anyway if you mix it right. So you do need to do a bit of tapping. Bit of this. And you can see it's bringing the bubbles up. Brilliant. Right, okay. I'll see you in another hour. You know that thing when you forget to press record? Anyway, demoulded. Looks like, it actually looks like terracotta. I've got that sort of worn sun faded here and there. Look, and look at the pot. That really does look like terracotta. I've somehow managed to get this sort of mottled effect to it, although some of that will fade down because that is just where it's got some moisture in it. But I think that really looks like terracotta. And of course, being eco-pour, it sounds like terracotta. How easy these moulds are to clean. Right. Especially if you can turn, the silicone is so soft and lovely, you can turn it inside out. Boowan Nicole, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I'm not using the frame. I probably should be, I know. But they seem to be keeping the shape really nicely anyway, despite how soft and fabulous this silicone is. What I'll do, I'll speed it up for you, because you've seen all this before. So we will speedy up and I'll put you some music on. As you can see, I made a right old mess doing this one. I also accidentally created a sort of a weird twirly effect in the bottom, and that was because I had to mix up a bit more, and I made a right mess of it. Anyway, so by the way, folks, if you've enjoyed this video, it's a bit of a giggle, isn't it? Well, I hope it is. Then please do give me a thumbs up. You know where the buttons are. They're all down here. And if you haven't already subscribed, feel free to do so. It's free, of course. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look, I've got a dark bit there. Isn't that lovely? That one's the colour ochre. While we're here, let's give my channel members a big shout out. Thank you for your additional support. Much appreciated. So, the other thing, of course, to say while I'm demoulding this is don't forget, I'll put all the information down below that you need to, you know, all the links and everything that you need to make this sort of thing. To Boowan Nicole, and also to Just For You Online for the eco pour and the colours. Though don't forget, Boowan Nicole do a pour type thing too. Oh, look at that. Oh, I like that. That's lovely. Smash in. But most importantly, there will be a link as well to both the websites, because both were involved in initiatives for the whole eco save the planet type of thing, and it's very important, as we all know. So do have a look at their websites. What I'll do is I'll put you the link for the discount codes and so on, but I'll also put you a link for where to find the information about the whole eco thing, because I know that's going to interest a lot of people at the moment. Right, so for anyone who's not seen it before, I'll show you how I do the waxing. People use furniture wax, all sorts really, and you can get paint on sealants too, but I tend to use the Boowan Nicole wax. You can see this pot was cured lovely. It just looks like terracotta. Marvellous. Now, the reason I like the Boowan Nicole wax is because it's nice and smooth and soft, so it's easier to use, but you give it a good rub and you can see how the colour gets richer from using it, so you give it a darn good rub. Now, you don't have to seal it. If you're not going to be using it anywhere that's likely to get wet, then you needn't really seal it, but I tend to anyway, just to be on the safe side, and these are going to go in my bathroom, so there's a good chance they're going to get at least damp, isn't there? And then you just get a soft cloth. Actually, the Boowan Nicole wax kit comes with a suitable cloth, but mine's in the wash, so I'm just using microfiber tea towel here, and you end up with this really lovely, sort of soft sheen. If you think it's likely to get wet a lot, I would say probably go over with 2 coats. Just do it twice, just only to make sure that you haven't missed any bits. And sometimes I'll let it soak in a little bit too. For general purpose use, that should be more than enough. And that's all we do. Let's just put a little bit on each of these other ones so we can see what the colour does, because I know you'll want to see that. Yep, that riches the colour up on that one too. And where's the little greeny one? Kind of wishing I'd put a little bit more of the green in this, but I still rather like the colour. Oh yeah, the wax brings up the colour anyway. Lovely. Right, I'll do the rest. We'll cut to some photos. And so thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you for the next video. If you want to see what these look like in the end, then watch on and I will show you the photos. Take care, and I'll see you next time.